I was a jock in high school. I played fullback and middle linebacker on the football team. I was catcher on the baseball team, and I even played golf.
Back in high school, we used to bridge jump. We used to go down to Elephant Rocks and jump off the cliffs.
I played a lot of sports. That was kind of how I identified myself.
I dropped 25 pounds. I started running again, and I was running, well, in between that time, about 10 miles a day.
Without Charlie, my story ends most likely sad and heartbreaking. As far as I'm concerned, Charlie Wright is Lifewaters. And when we are stubborn and set in our ways, he continues to knock and knock and knock in hopes that one day we will answer the door. My only regret is that I didn't answer his knock sooner. Semper Fidelis, Corporal Jeffrey R. Combs.
Being around water all my life and doing aquatic therapy and pieces with that, with my rec therapy, it really did make sense that scuba could be a part of someone's life after a traumatic injury. So Lifewaters was born.
I am what they call a complete spinal cord injury, which just means that I don't have any feeling, any sensation, any movement below where my level of injury is, which for me is right below my waist.
I had an accident. They had to reconstruct my chest. And after that, I was forced out in January of 2000.
And my injury is T6 complete, so I'm missing all the vertebrae from T6 to T12, and my spinal cord is severed, so there's no movement or feeling below that level, which is mid-chest.
Even though I'm a C7 quad, I'm a walking quad, and I can still move my limbs and move my legs.
When Charlie and I got together and we talked about his theory of having him in the water and the neutral buoyancy and taking the pressure off of the body and the nerves and the muscles and giving him the freedom to move freely without the load and the trying to help re-strengthen muscles. Oh, I'm a true believer.
I started asking my fellow therapists, nurses, physicians that were in rehab and specifically had some background in spinal cord injuries to help with this program to grow because we really needed to have that safety piece.
I had sold all my dive gear. Figured I'd never dive again. I got a hold of Charlie and I met up with him on a Wednesday night down at the pool at Jefferson Barracks. That was convincing for me to kind of start helping out, because there's been several times in my life where I shouldn't have walked away. So for me, giving back is helping out.
I'm not in a chair, and I'll never pretend that I know what that feels like. It's really important to encourage, and I don't take no as an answer. If we get a no, I give it a little time, we come back again. And I might get another no, knowing that we'll keep trying, maybe try a different angle.
The magic that happens underwater is huge. For me, I have a lot of pain, and pain medicine, stretching, none of that stuff works. But when I'm underwater, there's none of that pain. It goes away. And for days after I dive, I'm pain-free of that. And I can't explain it. I don't know why it happens. I just know that those are magical days.
That camaraderie is unbelievable. You are trusting your dive buddy with your life every time you go down, and they're trusting you with their life.
Every day I live in, a lot of pain, probably 90% of the time. Just sitting down too long affects me, but when I go diving, it relieves a lot of pressure just for me.
Swimming under the water and just gliding through the water, to me, is the closest thing I'm ever going to get to being like Superman, because it's the way that you can fly through the water, control your breathing and go up and down and just glide over the coral. It's an amazing thing.
I made my husband get involved with Lifewaters. We'd been dating for a while and we'd gotten engaged, and we were talking about scuba, and I said, hey, they're going on a trip to Cozumel next summer and we'll be married, so whether you're coming or not, I'm diving.
They find out in their life that there is no limit. You know, I can learn, you know, I can re-educate, I can dive, I'm not limited. Now they had a desire that we couldn't go on enough trips, we couldn't do enough diving, they couldn't see enough things.
We take a big group down to the Atlanta, Georgia Aquarium, and we bring 20 to 30 veterans down that walk in, that roll in, that come in as an amputee. We have blind divers that come in, and the coolest thing is to see these guys see 4 whale sharks floating around, swimming and going, oh, we're actually gonna get in the water with these guys.
Just the change that you saw in them mentally, physically, the self-confidence, the drive, and that they realize that there's so much more to their life than just being in the wheelchair and just trying to make it through the day.
We need to take the next step, is to capture what we're hearing from our divers after their dives. For an example, my pain went away. They could be on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest on the pain, and they're coming out of the water and saying, I went in the water with an 8 or 9. What just happened? Proving in a great way that diving could be something more than just a psychological benefit.
And I don't always understand like why us, but I'm beyond blessed to be able to say that like I found them or they found me, and to be part of this family.
To be able to take and just help one is just, to me, is the greatest thing.